We are not victims to money. And I think this is an area that we get confused about. Hey beautiful people, how are you? My name is Connor. You are watching ThrivingMinimalist.com, and today we're talking about one of my most favorite subjects, money. Money is awesome, and don't get it twisted. It is a phenomenal thing. It is a phenomenal tool, and we have the ability to use it to our advantage, to take care of ourselves by using money, to take care of the world by using money, to invest in things that are going to improve the world, to improve ourselves. We can use money and still have morals. We can create money and still have morals. In fact, we can use money to help other people find their morals. And I think we really get confused sometimes. It's not our fault. We've really been inundated with, like, if you're making money, you must be doing it in some evil, malicious way. And yet, we all use money in our system. I don't know anyone as like crazy and as peaceful and as maybe guru and maybe as anti-government or anti-fiat currency or anti-whatever they may be. They're still using money. They're still making money. They're still putting money out. We're all doing it because it's an awesome, awesome tool. We are not victims to money. And I think this is an area that we get confused about. We feel like we're trapped in this system we can't do anything about. We have to use this evil, evil thing. We're controlled by this evil, evil thing. And we have no options. And it's just like evil, we make evil, we spend evil, it's evil, but we're all doing it. That's not true. It's only true if that is your perspective on it. And I'm here to try and offer you another perspective if that is where you are feeling a little stuck. So I want to talk about that first point, which is money equals evil. And if you have it, you must be doing something bad, or you are bad, or something like that. Because essentially this is a form of discrimination. And I don't think that we think about it that way, but it is. When I was younger and I was in the punk rock scene, like 7th, 8th grade, and there's nothing wrong with the punk rock scene. I mean, maybe there is things wrong with it, but I'm not here to demonize the punk rock scene. But I represented, I wore a patch that said, "Feed the poor, eat the rich." And there's a lot of people I've seen with that kind of slogan on. I don't think these are bad people, but I think the slogan is pretty hateful, honestly. Because when I think about it now, like, I know a lot of people that maybe would be considered rich, and they're wonderful, great people, amazing human beings. And they were either born with money or they've made their own money, and the way that they've made that money, I feel like that's great. There's nothing, you're not doing anything evil to make that money. And they're really, really good, loving people. And so to have something like that, we're like, well, the rich just are blah. The rich are terrible people. They're making money, they're taking from the poor, they're controlling us. We have no power because of these rich people. I think it's really keeping ourselves down, victimizing ourselves. But even worse than that, it's hating on other people. And that sucks. It sucks to bring more hate into this world and to not even like really get it that we're doing it. So I had this punk rock patch that was, you know, feed the poor, eat the rich. And the idea is, well, if we can just like take money from the rich and give it to the poor, everything will be okay. I don't think that it's that simple. I don't think that it's that simple. And I know for a fact that having aggressive messages against a group of people in the idea that this is a moral thing because I'm supporting this other group of people is totally shitty. And we've seen it throughout history in so many different ways, that it's just a shitty thing to do. The less that we bring, the more that we can create love in the world in any way possible, the better the world is going to be. So this brings me into our next point. Money as a tool. Money as a tool. Your tool. You're not the tool. Money is the tool, and you get to use it. If we can believe, if we can know that that is actually actually the truth. We gain a lot of power. We empower ourselves just with that thought. We're not being used by money. We're not being used by the system. We may feel at times like a pawn or like a cog in some big scheme, and I really understand that. And I think that there are other people out there that do kind of view us as that. But that doesn't mean that we have to take that on or believe that. I know that there is a lot wrong with fiat currency. This currency that's really kind of built out of nothing. I know that. I know that there's a lot of issues with our current monetary system. I totally get that. But that doesn't mean that we can't use it to our advantage, and not just in a manipulative, evil way, but like use it to our advantage to create more love, to create more abundance, so that everybody wins kind of way. Money is a tool. Money is just like a hammer, and you can use a hammer to hit somebody on the head, or you can use a hammer to drive a nail into a stud and build a house for yourself, for your family, for someone who doesn't have any. And if you say like, no, I'm not going to use that hammer, that's an evil thing because it can be used to hit somebody on the head, and you use a rock instead, it's just not going to work as well. And you can use the rock to hit somebody on the head too. So it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Anything, any tool in the world could be used for evil. And I think in this case, this tool can be used for so much good if we allow ourselves to be the ones in control of it. If we say like, this is my tool, I'm gonna build a goddamn house today. Money is a pretty phenomenal thing. The concept of bartering, say like I make shoes and you grow corn, and then I can come to you and say like, hey, I make shoes, you grow corn. How about I make you a pair of great shoes and you give me a sack of corn? And everybody's like, yeah, that's awesome. I need shoes and I've got too much corn. That's a badass system. But can you imagine going around and trying to do that with all of the needs and with all of your wants that you desire to get accomplished in the day? It would totally suck. It would be a major pain in the ass. And so we have this awesome thing called money that is a representation of energy. It is the representation of energy. And there's different forms of energy. There's kind of a value system of energy. In general, the economic principle is, if you have something and a lot of people want it, but it's finite, its value will increase. So if there's only one satchel of corn and like 10 people want it, the value is gonna go up. That's it. It's so simple. That doesn't mean that the guy who grew the corn is a shitty dude for selling it for more. It just means that 10 people want it. It means that there's a higher want than there is a supply. The demand is higher than the supply. And that might happen for a little while, and these 10 people are gonna be like, man, I need this corn, I need this corn. I'm willing to pay a ton of money for it. No one's forcing them, mind you, no one's forcing them to buy the corn. They need it, they want it, they recognize there's not very much of it, they'll put down the extra money for it. And it'll stay like that for a minute, but then one of those guys is gonna be like, hey, I've got an idea. I'm gonna grow some corn and sell it. And they're gonna grow some corn. And then another guy's gonna do it, and they're gonna grow some corn until it comes back and it's like level again. For some things, there's just a finite amount. It's not like you can just grow more of them. Like people, sometimes a person and their energy is a commodity, and people are willing to pay for that person to come and to be with them. Like, we have this friend who's staying in the same building. She is amazing. She's a holistic doctor. She's a medical doctor and a holistic healer. And I happen to think that she's really cool and like knows what she's talking about. So because of all those things, I'm really willing to pay her a lot of money to take care of me when I maybe get sick or have a question, a medical question. And the reason that she's able to charge the amount of money that she wants to charge is that there are a lot of other people that feel the same way. And no one is forcing me to pay her X amount of money. I want to, I desire to pay for this awesome thing. I want her services so bad, and she's worth so much to me that I will pay her X amount of money and be really happy about it. Something else that I've seen is people who offer services in the world, they're really like morally based, morally rich services. In the sense that, you know, what I see as kind of morally driven things are like love-based things that just give love into the world, that increase the love of our world. And I have seen these people get hated on or be demonized because they are asking for money for these love-based services. And so there's some idea that like good things can't cost money, or that if you're trying to produce like love in the world, you can't do it with money. And that is where we are really stepping on our own toes. We're really blocking ourselves here. We can use the tool of money to increase the momentum of these kinds of projects, to increase more love in the world, to put our money into things that are really going to serve us, to use the tool to build a house, use that hammer to build a house. Many of us feel or have felt at some time in our life really trapped by money. Either that we're working for some kind of system, business, whatever it is that just totally sucks, it's not aligned with our morals and ethics, it's draining our life source energy, it's just totally taking from us. But we feel like we have to do it in order to pay these bills, and we're paying these bills to people or to companies or to entities that also just feel like they're draining our life force energy. They don't align with our morals and our ethics. They're not producing more love in the world. And so we just feel totally stuck in this system. And what we see as the issue is money. Man, this money, this stupid money. But that's not the issue. The issue is that we feel stuck, and that we are working for these entities that don't align, and we are spending money on these entities that don't align. What if we change that? And I know that we don't all have the power or the belief or even the desire to change those things. And we also may not have the power or the belief or the desire to change those things right this second. But I'm just offering that it's an option. We can make money. I believe it to my core that we can make money doing things we believe in, that do align, that do feel good, that are love-based, and that we can spend money on things that align, that are love-based, and that feel good. I know that there's things that we spend money on that sometimes are just like, you gotta do it, you know, gasoline, cars, whatever. And not everyone is spending money on those things. I get that too, but most of us spend money in some areas that we're just like, we're gonna do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really, really don't. But I think we're missing out on an opportunity to grab this tool and say, this is my goddamn tool. I'm gonna fucking use this thing the way that I want to. I'm gonna build a better goddamn planet. And I'm gonna do it out of love. I'm gonna do it the way I wanna do it, the way that I see fit. And some people will say, well, not everyone can just follow their passions and make money from passion and from love and all this stuff. And I don't believe that is true, not for 1 second. I think right now what we see is that people aren't doing that. And so it's kind of hard to envision things that haven't come to life yet, especially in some grand scale like that, like everyone following their passions. But can you just for a moment close your eyes and imagine what the world would look like if everyone followed their passions? If everyone made money in a way that aligned with their morals, with what felt true for them, I think we would have an absolutely stunning and beautiful place to live and cooperate in. Absolutely stunning. So this is your opportunity. You don't have to do it right this second, but take what I'm saying, you know, change, take out whatever it just doesn't make sense, and take on what does, because I think there's some really good points in here. And I want you to feel good about the money that you earn, about the money that you spend. I want you to feel like you are in charge of your life. In this area, I know it can feel overwhelming and daunting and like it sucks and we're just playing into the man's hand and we're participating in a system that we don't align with. But screw all that, man. Make it your own. Make it your own. Stop being a victim, because you're not. You're so in charge. You're so powerful. And you deserve to follow your passion. You really, really do. People want and desire to do so many different things that are beautiful and that will serve all of us. We need to give them the opportunity to do it. We need to give ourselves the opportunity to do it, to participate in something beautiful. And if that means that we need to keep going to our 9 to 5 and we need to keep putting gas in the car and all that stuff, that's cool, that's fine. What if you just take 1% or 5% or 10% of what you're doing? Take that energy and put it into something beautiful. Or start creating something that you can put into the economy that's going to have a positive impact. Use money to your advantage. Don't let it use you. So much love to you. Thank you for listening to me. I really feel passionate about this subject. If you also are feeling passionate about this subject, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Much, much love to you. Take care. Mwah. Talk to you next time.